Cartman excitedly brags to the other boys that he is the first to reach puberty since he has gotten his first pubes. However, it turns out that he bought them from Scott Tenorman for $10. After Stan and Kyle explain that one can grow their own pubes instead of buying them, Cartman tries tricked into traveling all the way to Fort Collins in the process to go to a pube fair which does not exist. Kyle tells Cartman that he should just accept his loss and move on because Scott is smarter than him, but Cartman persists in getting his money back. Ultimately, Scott forces Cartman to dance like a piggy before vindictively lighting his money on fire, sending Cartman screaming in rage and promising revenge. First, he tries to get his friends on his side, but because Cartman is the only victim, none are interested. Cartman invites Radiohead to come to South Park to meet Scott, who, according to the letter, is dying from cancer in his ass, and asks if they are free next Tuesday around 5. Stan and Kyle betray Cartman, warning Scott that Cartman is training Denkin's pony to bite off his dick. Cartman invites Scott to a chili cook-off, telling him that he can have a free pony ride at the event. Scott, who thinks he knows what Cartman's plan is, tells his parents that there's an abandoned pony at Farmer Denkin's ranch. When Scott does arrive, Cartman tries to bring Scott over to the pony, but Scott tells him that he wants Cartman to try his chili first because he thinks he can win first prize, so Cartman obliges. Everybody is waiting for Cartman to get humiliated, except for Chef, who brought his own chili. Scott eats Cartman's chili first, and then taunts Cartman to do the same. When Cartman has eaten most of a bowl of Scott's chili, everyone starts to laugh quietly in anticipation before Scott begins to tell Cartman what he did. However, Cartman proceeds to pull the rug out from under Scott and reveals that he already knew that Scott had laced his chili with Chef's. Cartman compliments Chef's cooking, claiming he had not anticipated that aspect, but claims that he did anticipate that Stan and Kyle would betray him by warning Scott that the cook-off was a trap, shocking the pair. Cartman then explains that he assumed they would tell Scott that he trained Denkin's pony to bite off Scott's penis, but he reveals that they did not tell Scott that Denkins also had the policy to shoot trespassers on sight. Knowing Scott would try to sabotage the pony, Cartman met with also knowing that Scott would not go himself out of fear of getting his dick bitten off. He assumed that Scott would mostly likely send his parents to do the dirty work. As a result of Mr. Denkins being on particularly high guard that night when he saw Scott's parents on his property, he shot and killed them both. A shocked town averts their eyes to Mr. Denkins, who quickly defends what he did by pointing out that Scott's parents were trespassing and he was merely protecting himself and his property. Cartman then reveals that he has not finished, explaining that he arrived at the scene just in time to see Denkins giving his report to Officer Barbrady, and of course, steal the corpses. After a night of dismemberment with a hacksaw, Cartman says that he was finally ready for the cook-off, so he could personally tell Scott that his parents were dead. He concludes by asking Scott if he likes the chili he prepared for him, telling him